Hi students, how is your preparation for GATE exam? For GATE Civil, it is around 60 days of time to open the gate and jump the gate and to cross the gate. The time available for 2025 GATE is 60 days. The exam date is 16th of February. Exam this year is conducted by IIT Roorkee. And IIT Roorkee is the organizing institute for GATE 2025. IIT Roorkee, this point you need to identify, this point you need to concentrate. IIT Roorkee is organizing institute for GATE 2025. GATE 2025 is being conducted by IISc Bangalore and 7 IITs comprising IIT Bombay and so many other things. That means the organizing institute for the GATE 2025 is IIT Roorkee and conducted by all the IITs plus IISc. That means don't think that IIT Roorkee alone is setting the paper and then that is given in the exam. So they'll collectively collect the questions from all the experts from all the IITs and IISc. So IIT Roorkee may assemble the paper and then give it for the exam. So the question level and the complexity level will be normal only. Usually around 60% of the questions are average to normal questions. Then around 20% questions are slightly above average level questions and some 10 to 15% questions are bouncers. So if you prepare with the normal questions and prepare with the average level of preparation, by targeting the average questions and all, there is a bright chance of attempting 70 to 75% of the questions. So first of all, you need to target the main questions with fundamentals. IIT Roorkee first organized GATE exam in 2009, then 2017, 2025 is at present. So don't think that the questions of 2017 and complexity of 2009 will repeat in 2025, because the questions are not given alone by IIT Roorkee, and moreover the professors who were there in 2017 and set the questions may not be available now, might be retired and might be in some other position, might be in some other busiest conditions, they can't give the questions sometimes. So usually don't have a misconception of the same sort of questions of 2009 and 2017 will repeat in 2025. It's a just misconception. And general aptitude is 15 marks, compulsory 15 marks will come. Engineering mathematics 13 marks, these are having high weightage, and in technical areas we have 72 marks. Total is 100 marks with 3 hours of time. That means for 1 mark question you have 1.8 minutes of time. For 2 marks question you have 3.6 minutes of time if you attempt all 100% of the questions in the paper. If you attempt all the 100% of the questions in the paper. Otherwise, you can slightly expand the time limit for each and every question. That point you need to keep it in mind. So the questions in GATE exam will be memory recall type of questions, comprehensive type of questions, application of the concept. Next is analysis and synthesis. So these are the 4 type of questions generally we come across in GATE exam. But as I told you, don't think that all the questions are very critical and very difficult questions. So you have a, what do you say, random group of people writing the examination. So the questions will be spread over all the types, including very critical bouncers. So don't unnecessarily lose your confidence level by just thinking about only bouncers. So coming to the type of questions, multiple choice questions, be careful about multiple choice questions. Those multiple choice questions are having the negative marking, 1/3 of negative marking. And numerical answer questions and multiple select questions are not having negative marking. That means you need to attempt them. Somewhere or other, once you are attempting and spending time on a particular multiple select question and numerical answer question, you need to put the answer there, because negative marking is not there. You can take risk there. Now, especially for the preparation point of view, focus on high weightage subjects. Even in the high weightage subjects, you have questions which are getting repeated every year. Not every year, occasionally they are getting repeated. Those areas you focus it first. Then ensure strong fundamentals in mathematics and general aptitude. Mathematics is 13 marks, general aptitude is 15 marks. So you must focus on these areas. Don't leave these areas. Don't say that, "Arey sir, I am from diploma stream, I don't have much knowledge on the mathematics." So that may be true. In that case, you can slightly rely upon the few areas where you are comfortable. Now, practice the previous year gate questions. This practice upon PYQs will give you the trend of questions, what are getting up in the next coming 2025 exam. So, practicing upon the previous year questions is a must to have clarity upon the type of questions which are getting repeated every year. Now, coming to the general aptitude, we have general ability and numerical ability. English language proficiency, they'll just check it up. So, these areas, you need to just casually prepare. And intensively, if you spend a lot of time on this area and prepare, you may not get that much of margin of increase in the correctness of answering the questions. But however, don't leave these areas. Even though you spend 2 months, remaining 60 days on these areas, there may be chance of slightly critical questions coming up. So, these questions, whatever you get from this area, will be general questions. What a person with general preparation can also answer these questions. So, don't feel tension about these areas. These are general aptitude and general English they'll ask you. Next is the mathematics. You have 13 marks. Don't neglect this area. Don't neglect this area. I am just coming out of the frame. You can just take a pause or otherwise take a screenshot and then go through this. These are the probable areas where questions are commonly coming up. Upon the discussion with experts, these areas I have taken it out, and if you just go through these topics, definitely there is a chance of 50 to 70% of the questions you can answer it. Coming to the technical, engineering mechanics, we'll talk about the structural stream first and then we'll go to non-structural stream. So, engineering mechanics, approximately 1 to 2 marks of weightage, calculation of reactions. With simple fundamental, you can find out the reactions. No need to spend much time on the calculation of reactions. By using the equilibrium equations, you can just find it out. Resultant and equilibrium, calculation of resultant of the forces, equilibrium, and using the free body diagrams, you try to practice it. Friction is also a little extension of equilibrium only, with frictional force additionally you consider. So, these are the areas you need to concentrate in engineering mechanics. Next, coming to the strength of materials, SFD BMD chapter, nobody will ask you to draw the SFD BMD of a complete beam. They'll ask you what is bending moment at a section, what is shear force at a section. If you could able to calculate shear force at a section and bending moment at a section, more than enough. You can target the questions on this area. First of all, if it is a beam, you need to calculate reactions, except cantilever beam. You need to calculate reactions. Calculation of reactions again from the fundamentals of mechanics. Slopes and deflections will be the extension of the SFD BMD. All the standard formula you need to rut it up. You need to mug it up. That is very important, because formula applications sometimes will be useful to us. Apart from the formulae, you need to concentrate on any one of the methods of finding out slopes and deflections of the determinate beams. So, I suggest conjugate beam method and strain energy method are good for calculation of slopes and deflections for the simple cases. From bending stresses and torsion, there is a chance of 2 marks question coming up. Bending stress one formula throughout, torsion also based upon one single formula. And columns is also an important topic. Concentrate on Euler's theory of columns. And combined direct and bending stresses also please concentrate. Direct and bending stresses due to eccentric loading, it comes on the columns. Complex stresses, especially the calculation of stresses on inclined plane and the calculation of principal stresses, more than enough. And the special cases of Mohr circle is more than enough for us. Next is simple stresses, especially the cross sections with different shapes with axial forces. The people may ask you to calculate the change in lengths. These are very common areas. So prepare SFD BMG chapter with the previous year questions of GATE. Coming to RCC and PSC, from singly reinforced sections, there may be a chance of 2 marks. Shear is commonly repeated, and columns, especially the load carrying capacity of a column with PU formula based. And apart from this RCC, pre-stressed concrete analysis and losses, you need to by heart, you need to practice. This is more than enough to get 5 to 6 marks in RCC and pre-stressed concrete. Now coming to the structural analysis, method of sections are very important. Energy principles, especially to determine zero force members in indeterminate structures. Next, concentrate slopes and deflections, only rotation they'll ask you. Moment distribution method is important. Spend more time on moment distribution method. Also spend more time on plastic analysis. In plastic analysis, they'll ask you collapse load, collapse moment, plastic section modulus. Recently, there was a question in GATE exam to calculate the plastic section modulus. Influence line diagrams are important. Nowadays, questions are coming up in cables. Just have an idea on cables. If you have good fundamental of engineering mechanics, you can easily analyze a cable and find out the answer. Coming to steel structures, it is a big subject with less weightage. Just concentrate on welded eccentric connections and tension members, more than enough, 1 or 2 marks of weightage. So this is the story of structures. Coming to the non-structural subjects, especially if you want to join MTech structure in premier IITs, concentrate on non-structural subjects. So look at the GT, it is having a weightage of 10 to 15 marks, highest weightage. The subject with the highest weightage is GT. These are the topics you need to concentrate. Physical properties of the soil, permeability, effective stress, and these areas are important areas. Consolidation, there is a chance of a question. Shear strength, there is a chance of question. Bearing capacity, compulsory chance of question. Don't leave pile foundations. Whatever is printed in green are more important areas. Now coming to environmental, approximately it is having 8 to 12 marks in the GATE exam. The second highest weightage comes from the environmental engineering. So the quality of water, look at these areas where questions are commonly coming up. Alkalinity, pH, and hardness problems, numericals. Sedimentation tank, analysis and design problems are very commonly coming up. Coagulation, velocity gradient is very important where questions are getting repeatedly. Filtration, rapid sand filter, head loss, in filter kinetics is very important for us. Disinfection, kinematics, chlorine demand, HOCl, OCl, almost alternate years questions are coming from these areas. Now coming to the treatment, grid chamber design is important. Activated sludge process numericals, especially F by M ratio numericals are very important. Sludge treatment, don't leave volume calculations. Oxidation pond design, disposal of effluents, especially the mix formula is important. Solid waste, landfill design is important. Now coming to the air pollution, nowadays air pollution is given importance in the GATE exam. So type of pollutants and their concentrations, metrology, ELR and ALR numericals. Numericals based on ELR and ALR, please concentrate. So these are very important areas of environmental. Now coming to the transportation, this is also a small subject with higher weightage, 8 to 10 marks. Sometimes more than 10 marks also coming up. In the recent 2024 paper, around 12 marks came in transportation. This is a simple subject, theory subject, but questions will come. Most of the questions will be numerical questions in this area. So we have 3 topics here: traffic engineering, geometric design, pavement design. Highest weightage you can get it from traffic design only. In the traffic engineering, peak hour factor, speed distribution, green shield, linear distribution methods, signal design, especially to find out the optimum cycle length by Webster method and Webster's delay are important for us. Next, coming to the pavement design, in flexible pavement, calculation of cumulative standard axles by that formula. Every year, almost every year, either in morning session or afternoon session, you are getting one question to calculate the cumulative standard axles of flexible pavements. Coming to the rigid pavements, stress combination, wheel load stress, warping stress, frictional stresses, combinations in different seasons and different times will be commonly asked. Expansion joint, especially spacing of expansion joint, is a commonly asked question. Now coming to the contraction joints of RCC pavements and plain cement concrete pavements are also important areas where questions are repeatedly coming into the picture. Apart from this, you have the highway material. Especially in highway material, the Marshall mixed design method numericals you need to concentrate. And in highway material and testing, aim and apparatus and specifications of each and experiment, you just have an idea. That's more than enough. Next, coming to the geometrics, especially the chain errors, chain too short, too small, this type of questions you need to concentrate. It's having a weightage of 4 to 5 marks. The total subject is having a weightage of 4 to 5 marks. Compass survey, especially the calculation of declination, you concentrate. Next is traversing, especially in traversing, problems based on the omitted measurements are important. Now in photogrammetry, scale, relief displacements are very important, don't leave that. Next is theory of errors. Question is almost every year coming from the theory of errors. Concentrate more on the theory of errors, don't leave it. Next is trigonometric survey. With the basic fundamentals of trigonometry, you can solve it. With little concept and good trigonometrical concept, you can solve this problem. Especially questions are repeatedly coming on base inaccessible cases. Next, coming to the hydrology, these are the areas where questions may come, but weightage is 3 to 4 marks. Especially in the precipitation, numericals and estimation of number of rain gauges, frequency of rainfall, missing rainfall data. Thesian polygon method is very important, concentrate on that. In infiltration, the Horton's method with the phi and W index are very, very important, don't leave it. Hydrograph is much important area where unit hydrograph to flood hydrograph conversion and vice versa conversion is also very important. Rational formula to calculate maximum flood estimation is very important, don't leave it. Especially masking method of flood routing is good, concentrate on this. Groundwater hydrology will come in GT also. So especially Darcy's equation, porosity and specific yield of wells, especially with confined and unconfined aquifers, please concentrate. Formula oriented area. So these are the areas you need to pinpointedly concentrate. Next, coming to the irrigation, maybe 2 to 3 marks most of the times. Just concentrate on water requirement for the crops. It's again a big theoretical subject, but gate point of view, they every time ask you the numerical based questions. So this is the area where you frequently get questions, numerical questions. Coming to the open channel flow is a very, very open area, a small area where higher weightage is coming up, 3 to 4 marks, very, very small area, but higher weightage. Concentrate on hydraulic jump and channel transitions. If you could able to manage these 2 areas, more than enough. Next is fluid mechanics, approximate weightage 4 to 6 marks. Flow through pipes, you concentrate. Then fluid dynamics, Bernoulli and momentum equations, fluid statics. Concentrate on flow through pipes, especially the manometers and all. So if you concentrate these areas, there is a scope of 80% of the questions you can target it, because fluid mechanics is having vast syllabus. So you need to confine to the areas where questions are very repeatedly coming and very important areas for the GATE point of view. So, this is in short the way in which you need to prepare it. So, especially the people at the last minute spend more time on these areas. Especially the GATE preparation is simple. If you could able to spend time effectively these 60 days, you can hit the target. You can jump the gate without opening it also. So, these are the things you need to follow, especially a little preparation strategy. Prepare short notes. Don't prepare short notes with all multicolors so that you can use it for next 50 to 60 years. You prepare short notes with the scribbles only. You take a 100 pages small notebook and just scribble it. You can write it in such a way that you can only understand it. So, there is no need that it should be published. And usually what the people do is they'll take 100 pages small notebook, they write everything on one side, on the other side they keep it blank. Whenever you want to add something else extra, on the other side you can add it. So, that can be useful for the last minute preparation for the GATE exam. So, spend time every day to revise the short notes. That short notes you need to mug it up every day. You need to do parayan every day. If you do parayan, you will get moksha. Spend time on higher weightage subjects. As per the weightages just now we have discussed, spend more time on higher weightage subjects. Spend more revision time also on higher weightage subjects. Initially concentrate on topics where questions are repeatedly appearing in exam. Once you get confidence, then go to untapped areas. Without the fundamentals, if you go to untapped areas, you will be tapped out of the exam. So, concentrate on numericals. GATE exam, 80 to 90% of the questions are numericals. Only the remaining 10 to 15% are theory. So, concentrate more on numericals. Especially online test series is important to make yourself comfortable, and it gives you a sort of examination feeling. You can get rid of the examination fear. You can become comfortable while going through the online test series. Especially in the initial stages, you may get 0, 1, 2, 3, like that single digit marks may come. Don't unnecessarily get depressed by looking at that single digit marks. You identify what are the mistakes you are commonly doing it, note down in a paper and try to rectify the mistakes. Then you see you get a lot of change in your results of the online test series. So, identify your mistakes and rectify them. Identify your weakness through the online test series. Honestly, you agree and then try to rectify that weakness. Learn upon the mistakes is very, very important area. Some people will have common mistakes of taking data wrongly from the question to the paper while solving. Some people will have problem of unit conversions. Some people will have problem of posting the answer finally, because you may get answer, say for example stress in Newton per mm square, they might have asked in some other Newton per meter square. Whatever might be the units they are asking you, in that units only you need to convert and post the answer. So, in hurry people may miss that. So, identify such common mistakes. My common mistakes may be different from others' common mistakes. So, the common mistakes are common to a particular person. You need to identify your mistakes and then rectify upon it. Concentrated individual study is required. You need to spend almost 80% of the time with individual study. After that, discuss with your friends and then teachers. So, while discussing with the friends and teachers, you come to know whether you are going on a right path in the preparation or not. So, you can get the things cleared, doubts cleared upon the discussion with your friends. So, don't completely isolate yourself in the preparation. Mixing with friends, mixing with faculty is very important. Spend time on practice. Spend more time on practice. After the revision of the formulae with the short notes, most of the time you spend on practicing the numericals, because in exam, I told you Around 90% of the questions are numerical questions. Prepare timetable depending upon available time for you per day. So you may be a college going student, you need to go to the college from 9 to 5. So the time available for you to prepare for the exam may be very less. Depending upon the available time for a particular person, you prepare a timetable. Stick on to the timetable. Even discrepancies are very common. If you get a discrepancy today and cannot able to reach the target, you adjust in next 2-3 days. Don't directly adjust in the next day, adjust in 2-3 days so that it gets nullified, the effect gets nullified. Don't waste time upon social media. This is a final point I want to tell you. Just for relaxation, if you are using social media, it is okay, but spending complete time on social media is just waste. So try to curb all your social media activities for 60 days. After 60 days, you can spend 30-40 hours per day on social media if you want. So these are the slight tips I wanted to give you. So I hope this is useful to you. I wish you all the best. So depending upon the time availability, you prepare a timetable. If your classwork is over, if your other works are over, you can timetable for full length, full day. And if your classwork is still going on, don't get depressed. Whatever time is available, based upon that time availability, you prepare the timetable and stick on to that timetable. And one more thing is, yes, test series are very close to the realistic questions of the real GATE exam. So stick on to the AS test series. Why I am saying is, I have seen the other test series, there the questions are really high level questions. Those high level questions, some questions may not be in your syllabus also, and some questions are very, very critical. You can't answer within stipulated time. If you observe the PYQs of GATE, even though the question is critical, they'll give you the data in such a way that you can answer within your stipulated time. Like that, they frame the questions. That's why if you are going for the other test series, the problem is you may lose the confidence by looking at the level of questions, which are very critical and may not be useful to you after solving them. So stick on to ACE test series, believe on the test series, and believe on the teachers of ACE, and your class notes you revise, and then short notes, and then online test series, and then PYQs of GATE. Definitely you can jump through the GATE. I wish you all the best. I wish you great success. Thank you very much.